Nancy Pelosi. What is Nancy Pelosi investing in? Just follow what Nancy Pelosi is doing. Check out Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio. Is she buying Tesla? What's she doing with her Salesforce stock? She just bought Apple again? Is she holding on to Disney? Hi, Fire Buddies. There is so much information available on investing these days. Everyone seems to be selling you something, whether it's some paid stock picking service or someone telling you how much money they made off of Nvidia. It can seem really overwhelming to the beginner investor, and honestly, even for the intermediate investor. I wanted to distill it down for you. I'm not selling you any voodoo magic. I'm just a guy who is passionate about getting folks to become financially stable. And I want to explain investing concepts in a simple manner. There's a book called A Random Walk Down Wall Street that posits that a blindfolded monkey throwing darts at a newspaper stock listing can pick stocks just as skillfully, if not better, than a stock picking professional. There have already been many folks that have experimented with this, so I will just summarize the results. The random stock picker generally ends up with the same or similar to the professional over multiple rounds, but ends up going through more wild swings than just going with an index fund like the S&P 500, which again, for the beginner, is a collection of the 500 of the biggest US companies. There may be some years that you beat the S&P 500. There will be some years you won't. The problem is less diversification. You aren't going to be able to juggle researching and tracking hundreds of companies yourself. So you think you can pick the 5, 10, 20, 30 companies that'll be better than the rest. Will there be companies that outperform the S&P 500? Absolutely. Will you be able to pick some of these companies out sometimes? Probably. Will you be able to accurately predict these companies consistently and accurately time and time again and enter and exit at the right times? Extremely unlikely, to the point of near impossibility. Most folks who invest are going to invest for the rest of their lives. No stock picker makes millions of dollars and then just gives up and stashes their money in a savings account. They always go back in. And that is where overconfidence and stock picking abilities can really burn you. It just takes a few bad moves to wipe you out. Look, I get it. We are all human beings who strive to be better than average. You don't want to just accept whatever returns the S&P 500 will give you. You think you can beat it. And I think if there was some sort of actual consistent way for someone who doesn't have hundreds of millions of dollars to beat the S&P 500 year after year, decade after decade, then it may be worth pursuing for some folks who want to dedicate the time. But what do most savvy investors end up doing anyway? Index funds. Will savvy folks still pick individual stocks from time to time? Yeah, we all want to get that feeling that maybe we'll pick some of the good ones. But the most savvy of investors also realize that they probably won't beat the market. We pick individual stocks for a variety of reasons. We like a company and we want to invest in it because we think they will make money or provide goods that people can benefit from, or they treat their employees really well. I'd say if you want to pick individual stocks, treat them like junk food. A little is fun, but too much of it and you'll get sick. Stick with mostly index funds, at least 80 to 90%, if not 100%. And over time, you'll end up better than the day trader and the buy and hold stock picker. The reason is, one of the key factors to success in investing is your conviction. The reason why people buy high and sell low is that they never believed in what they were investing in the first place. They were buying on hype because so-and-so made money or someone told them to do it. They had insufficient courage, wisdom, and patience. Even beginners who invest in index funds can get spooked at any drop if they don't understand enough about what they were doing when they invest, or if they don't believe the economy will generally get better with time. And that's okay. You have to know yourself and you have to keep learning. Otherwise, who can blame you for running away from investing when you hear bad news? And that is what I'm here for, to help you understand a bit better about what you're doing when you're investing, especially in index funds. So let's say you buy VOO using money in a Roth IRA. What are you actually doing? VOO is an exchange-traded fund, like a collection of hundreds of slivers of stocks of the 500 biggest companies in the United States. The beautiful thing about VOO, or any fund that represents S&P 500, is that it is self-cleansing. Lower-performing companies can get voted out, and higher-performing companies can get voted in. So you generally always have a collection of the highest-performing companies. But from 2009 to 2014, the index fund actually came out ahead every single year. Because the loss was so severe in 2008 for the index fund, though, it did take until 2012 before the index fund caught up to the hedge fund. In 2015, the index fund lost against the hedge fund by about 0.3%, But 2016, the index fund blew away the hedge fund by a margin of 10%. By 2016, the hedge fund had a yearly gain of only 2.2% compared to 7.1% for the index fund. The debate still goes on today, though, because the hedge funds will argue that their goals are different, that they want to also protect against losses in an economic downturn. Also, looking further back, the hedge fund did beat the S&P 500 from 2002 to 2007, up 95% even with the fees taken out compared to 64% for the S&P 500. You can interpret the data however you want, but I know for me, I would save time on the high management fees and just invest in the S&P 500 or total US stock market. At the end of the 10-year bet, the index fund actually won by a huge margin. It doesn't necessarily predict what will happen, say, over 20 or 30 year span, but hey, I'll spend time with my family and friends and doing other fun things instead of researching stocks. In the end, we want passive income to be passive, right? And that's all for today, my friends. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about stock picking versus index funds. Do you think you can beat the market consistently? Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to learn more. Share this video with someone you like if you enjoyed today's episode. Happy investing, and let's get financially savvy together.